Hi Gemini, welcome to Wild Pearl Tarot. Today we're going to be doing a timeless tarot and oracle reading, asking what's coming towards you at the time of viewing this. Only take it resonates, what feels right, and whatever it doesn't, just leave it for another Gemini out there. If you'd like for me to pray for you, if you'd like other Geminis and cross-watchers to pray for you, simply say hi in the comment section or leave an emoji, whatever feels right to you. And that gives us something that we can focus on that represents your energy. All right, so we start with a message. New rhythms are coming into your life now, Gemini. You are encouraged to trust and to adapt. Okay, that's interesting. If this reading resonates with you, please help out the channel by hitting the like button. If you've been here before and you enjoy these readings, consider subscribing. Thanks so much. What's coming towards Gemini? We have the Temperance card, of course. New rhythms are coming into your life now, and then you get the Temperance card. This is transformation. Always makes me think of chrysalis, right? A caterpillar moving into the cocoon and turning into a butterfly. Two things are really important with the Temperance card. It's ruled by Sagittarius energy. It's about transformation, but there's ingredients that go into that. Balance and patience. So the balance part is really interesting because it's not just spiritual or emotional, it's in the material plane as well. So it's a time to consider your life, what might be out of balance. You know, are you eating too much, too little? Are you drinking too much, too little? Are you sleeping too much, too little? In the material realm, right? Are you working too much, too little? So going into what's next, we have some cards acting kind of funny, and I'm going to take them as a footnote, but I'm only taking the ones that fly out and putting them in the reading. You're going to be making fresh plans, looking out towards the future, wondering, what do I have to offer this situation? What does it have to offer me with the Two of Wands? And this is just kind of the general feeling of the energy, but we're going to unpack and get more storylines soon. The Hermit card is a quiet inner sanctuary, wisdom, going within to hear your intuition. Page of Swords. Tell me more about that. Oh, interesting. You're moving into, I think, a more independent time in your life. I'll get to that in a moment. Two of Wands right now. So the transformation that we're talking about, what is it around, right? What's the context? It's specifically, I think, around your independence, how you're investing your time towards yourself. I think you are looking at a situation that you put energy into. There's this pause with the Seven of Pentacles, but it came out in reverse, suggesting that you're not quite happy with how things panned out. Like what the return on that investment of time was. So you're making new plans. You're course correcting with these plans. And I like that we have the Hermit card there because it tells me that you are going within, that you're going to a deeper place of wisdom. Tell me more about the Hermit. You're going into your intuition. And that is best, because if you want to travel in a direction that you've never traveled before, you must rely on your gut or your intuition, not your head, right? Because your brain is going to sneakily send you back through things you've already experienced. Just because the inclination for us as humans to go towards what we're familiar with is so strong. So where you go is towards the Death card, which is recognizing that something is past, that something is not necessarily going to ever come back the same way, and that this is the right thing. The Death card is also a rebirth card. So it's kind of like, hey, the season of this journey or this town or this relationship or whatever it is in context to what you're going through, this season is past. And to honor that, right? I think this is a time where you're pulling in your resources. You could even be saving your money. And I'll tell you why in just a second. You might be feeling like, okay, as you're making these plans and looking out towards the future, you're realizing, especially the more you truly listen to yourself, you're realizing, okay, some of the things that I want are going to require money. Some of them are going to require resources that I'm low on. So I've got to save right now. 5 of Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles, 4 and 5. It's like, okay, pull in your resources, save what you got, whether it's energy or it's money. And I like this because it's in preparation and it's realistic. Sometimes we convince, have you ever done this? Do you ever convince yourself that you don't really want something just because you're like, I don't think I have the resources, the time, or the money to make that happen. So I'm just going to convince myself that I don't want it. It's funny. I was talking to another songwriter one day. Remember, this was a quote. Maybe it was a dream. I don't know. I'm a Pisces. It all blends together. Anyway, some information dropped in my head the other day. And they were comparing, they're like, man, I had this really great idea for a song, but I was in the car and I couldn't write anything down. So I just convinced myself that it wasn't a good idea. It makes me laugh because I think a lot of us can relate. So this is where I think actually you're doing the opposite with this Hermit card. You're like, okay, if I had all the means in the world to do what I wanted, to make certain things happen that would feel purposeful in my life and important, money aside, time aside, what would those things be? And so I think that's kind of the important message in this reading is behind this transformation, there's an honesty occurring about how are you going to make these plans happen. And that's where it comes in handy, the practical side of this, like the material plane stuff. Do you need more money? Do you need more rest? Do you need to prioritize certain things in your schedule? And that's what you're doing. So this time, this era is moving out. There's some kind of era that is moving out, and you're going into a time that is a little bit like akin to a hibernation. It might even appear that way from the outside because maybe you withdraw, you're not going out with friends as much, or you're not spending as much money here or there. But actually, it's really smart what you're doing. It's like you're preparing. You're kind of preparing. I think you are going to be while you're doing all this, I think you're going to be very open to new ideas that kind of float on by. So this could be like being influenced by a TikTok video. This could be like, oh, you heard somebody chatting around the water cooler the other day, and they mentioned, that you could buy a place in Spain for $1 if you fixed it up. I mean, it's being open to the information that just is floating on by. But keep in mind that this information has shallow roots. So you'd want to do research. You wouldn't want to jump into action based on just solely this information. That is Page of Swords right there. Okay. So the pages are an immature energy, meaning that not emotional immaturity that I'm talking about. It has shallow roots. It's just the beginning, the budding. But look at all this yellow. It's really important because this gets you started. It kind of gets the wheels spinning. And it's specifically towards like where you want your community, how you want to make your home, where you want your stability, reaching milestones. And this is a very personal relationship to who you are, your identity, your autonomy. You're investing in your independence, the 9 of Pentacles. So just to recap, standing back from all this, right? I think you are going with a flow. New rhythms are coming into your life now, and there's a certain amount of curiosity that you've got. Like, what happens if I actually listen to my intuition and I do what I need to do to make these goals happen? There will be kind of a pulling in of resources, a very kind of spiritual place you reach with yourself. It's all very private and it's insular, so you're not probably talking about it too much, and that's good, because that's that. In the cocoon stage, right? There's so much going on inside that cocoon. That caterpillar breaks down to a complete liquid. It breaks down to a goo before it turns into a butterfly. So it's crazy, but it's very quiet on the outside. Anything else I need to know for my Geminis? Intuition. It's interesting because we got kind of a contradiction here. Four of Swords with the High Priestess. Intuition clarifies the Four of Swords in reverse. So actually going quiet is probably, let me, before I say anything, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. What is this? Oh, so many flipping in the deck. I almost feel like a lot of you Geminis are very aware of the inclination to talk about what you're going through versus what to hold in. The moment that you speak it, you know, words are powerful, right? But they can strip away the power from a situation, or they can empower a situation. And that's going to be what you're going to focus on. Because sometimes we need to stay away from compartmentalizing something so vast as a transformation, as is temperance. Sometimes, because words are our language is limited, so we don't have the words always to describe that crazy mess of transformation going on inside the cocoon. The best thing is to sometimes just let it happen. You can describe it later. And sometimes you limit yourself by trying to shove it into language and compartmentalize this experience. Sometimes, actually, when you speak of an experience too soon, it now becomes performative, and you see your own insular process from an outside perspective. It's very difficult to go through all that transformation while being outside of the cocoon. You got to stay inside. So I hope that is helpful. At the bottom of the deck, we got the 10 of Wands, which is closing the chapter on a long, exhausting journey. There is a sense of obligation sometimes attached to this. There's also integrity, but you're coming to the end of an old chapter in life. So say hi in the comment section if you'd like for us to pray for you. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.